Cave Comedy Radio is brought to you by AdamandEve.com. Input the code CCR at checkout for discounts.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
I think it's a human problem. I think the problem that's going on right now is that humans just gotta go. Yeah, humans are the issue.
Yeah, we're not doing too good.
It's not so much guns. It's just fucking human brains.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we're good to go? All right, that's Marcus. I'm Ben. Welcome to the show. With us as always, we've got that guy over there.
I think that it's important to see when in certain times that are happening right here in the country.
That's right. Little shake.
I'm trying to do Ted Koppel.
Was that Ted Koppel?
That's a Ted Koppel.
That's Ted Koppel?
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Well, just say some
It's an
information.
unfortunate event that happens in their country at certain periods of time on the third week of April. Happy birthday, Hitler. It's good to see you.
Ted, you've certainly changed.
Oh, I love to smoke weed and celebrate Hitler's birthday.
Wow, retirement has really got your brain all different.
Yeah, have a margarita when I wake up in the morning. I'm Ted Koppel.
So it's
Ted Koppel.
the weed has made you respect Hitler more.
No, that's what's happened to me. Henry Zabrowski.
That's Hong Kong Henry Zabrowski.
Man, Ted Koppel impersonation, and it's just weird to start the whole thing with it.
I thought it was a great impersonation.
Is that good?
I'm fine with it.
I'm going to get on SNL.
Yeah,
I'm going to get there.
No, you did.
Lauren, you need a 400-pound man. Is that it? Is that good?
Yeah, no, he's going to love it.
That's Ted Koppel on one of the Was Up commercials. Man, he was sorely needed. Is he dead?
No, not
Ted
yet.
Koppel, nah.
I mean, just on the
Do they
inside.
even wheel him out for special events anymore?
No, I think he mostly stays at home. He had quite a scandal go on. But, of course, he was big in the news. And the news media this week, it's been full of gaffes, bloopers, and it's been a real shit show. CNN completely messed up the Boston Marathon bombing, and that's what we're going to start off
CNN,
with today.
fuck the whole thing. Basically, we were going to come at you with, and I know that I was excited as much as other people were excited to do some coverage on alien implants and various butt rape made by aliens in space because it's fun, because it's nice to read about, because it's what's really going on.
And the kids love it.
The kids love it.
Yeah.
But
But
what
much
it's coming down to is that, but now, thanks to our news media, we have to cover what's happened.
And aliens will be butt raping, and aliens will be, getting rednecks, picking them up in the sky for a very, very long time. So we'll definitely have time to get to aliens.
We've got the government making stuff like the Boston Marathon explosion happening in order to cover up what's really going on.
Which is?
Aliens butt raping the Harlem Globetrotters.
Really?
The Harlem Globetrotters are right now, they are being terrorized by aliens.
This sounds like a Scooby-Doo episode that got denied.
Yeah, that's
pretty
because of
great.
all the rape in it.
Who
That
was
they're
it? They take off the mask and it's an alien wearing an alien mask?
Yeah, and he's got a big hard dick, and so he's like, ruh-roh, and then it's just like fucking face fucks. Fucking Scooby? What's his name? Yeah, Scooby, right?
Scooby-Doo.
Does he have a kangaroo pouch?
No, he's a
No,
dog.
he's a dog.
He's a dog.
Dogs don't
they
have those.
Oh, I
Not
always
even
get
Great Danes.
confused.
You know, it's interesting. CNN covered the story so poorly that it almost makes Alex Jones covering the story so poorly seem better.
So
You know?
I know that you guys covered some of the straight information on Top Hat.
Yeah.
Recently. So we are now today's
Although I'm fairly certain we pinned it on Sasquatch.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we...
So today it's 420. First of all,
I'm so stoned. I want to
oh yeah,
No.
International Pussy Eating Day.
Is that right?
yeah, bong hits.
You know what? I want some weed instead. That would be nice.
So it's 420. Last night, in the wee hours of the 9 o'clock in the nighttime, we saw them, the orchestrated theater of law enforcement, go and capture the final refugee. What's his name? With the 19-year-old.
His name is Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
Oh yes, he's Klingon.
Yes, he does sound like a
Drachar.
Yeah.
Garkar.
And his brother who was killed was named Tamerlan.
Tamerlan. Well, that's kind of a nice
Tamerlan.
name.
Yeah.
So he
It's like a festival place that might have roller coasters. Tamerlan.
Tamerlan.
That's nice.
Yeah, you get a funnel cake
Go down
and
there.
fucking blow up some runners.
Oh,
I
I don't like that other part. I don't like that other part.
So
I'm
the
here
bus-
for the elephant ears. You can imagine there's just some super fat guy in Boston sucking down one of those ho-hos that he got while watching the marathon, and just like a piece of like glass or a nail landed on. He's like,
Some ruined my hoagie.
my hoagie.
My hoagie.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
They should have just more baseball games. That's what I say. Less fighting, more baseball
Up
games.
the baseball games.
Boston was an absolute horror show. It was if it was written by Sam Raimi or what's the other fella, George Romero. Everyone was on lockdown all day yesterday while they were hunting for this guy.
Meanwhile, we have basically while we were reading it, it's like you got your lamestream news media.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's
We're
not
looking
lame-
at
that's a Sarah
the
Palin line.
lamestream. We're
Come
looking
on.
at the New York Times, liberal rag. You know what I mean? And they're out there. They're trying to be responsible with their news sources.
Right.
They're fucking not making snap judgments like a bunch of pussies.
Mm-hmm.
When I go on Infowars.com, I get the hard, straight, fucking real info.
He's got a lot
Alex
of time.
Jones
Yeah.
is on the front lines out there.
By the
and
way-
he's digging in.
Yeah, and he's given that real concrete speculation.
Oh, yeah.
The largest conspiracy theory that I discovered this week, though, after Googling Alex Jones quite a bit, there is not one website that doesn't claim that he was born in 1974. He pretends to be 39 years old.
He's got
That
really good people.
There is no way Alex Jones is 39 years old.
I think that his hairpiece is 39 years old.
Yes, because he got that at 23.
I got it. It was Sammy Davis Jr.'s.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, for a long time. He retired it, and then he picked it up.
I didn't know you could get secondhand hairpieces.
Oh, yeah, especially from people of different races than you.
Isn't that something?
It's very easy.
What kind of race do you want to get? A nice little Asian wig?
No, Pocahontas.
Ah, that's beautiful. You're going to be
Full
gorgeous.
Pocahontas braid.
Well, I would love to be John Smith and be with you always. So what was Alex Jones talking about?
Okay, so first of all, like back in the day, like, when this first started, 4chan started a big campaign, like surveying a bunch of surveillance footage, and pointed out these various people wearing, like one wearing a hat with various insignias on it, and
The skull
carrying
like the
backpacks.
Punisher wore.
Yes, and he said that the 4chan made a big deal about it. Infowars hopped on him. We're like, these are the suspects. Then the Post pushed those pictures that they found on 4chan. They put it on the fucking front page. It's like a bunch of morons. And ruin everything.
If you were not Irish white and you were wearing a backpack at the Boston Marathon,
They were
4chan
up
took
your
a
ass.
picture of you.
But at the same
and
time,
you were
it's
a possible
the
bomber.
Boston Police Department. They already were.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anybody who was brown there to begin with, there was 9 of them.
Yeah.
That weren't runners.
Well, you better be
at the
running
front of the pack.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's the thing is like they're beating everyone in the marathon. You got a couple people from Kenya. They're destroying everybody, and then they get in a helicopter and get the fuck out of Boston.
Well, I think that's why people from Kenya do so well at the New York City Marathon and the Boston Marathon. They're just legitimately terrified of the NYPD and the
Oh, yeah,
Boston
so-
cops.
yeah,
they're
so
like,
they're
we just got to
just-
get
they're
the fuck
booking
out of
it.
here. As
Yeah.
soon as we're like done with this race, we get back on the plane and we go to the safe haven of Ethiopia.
Well, absolutely, because cops are looking at him, going like, give him the eye, like point at him, like I'm watching you, you know, and like, and they're like, oh, it gives me the inspiration.
Hey, non-white, you better be here for sport. You better
Yeah.
be here for sports. That's the only way. That's
Because
the only
he's-
time we like you.
Most of the time he's training, he's got a bag of sausages tied to his ankle, and he's running through the jungle.
To think about that.
He's got tigers coming after him.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You know, so these people are used to danger. That's why they're making record times.
they're doing
You know?
amazing.
But so where the conspiracy started, again, it was a horrible national tragedy.
Yeah.
Moment
Yes,
of silence. I'm going to put that out there as well.
We did
But
it,
I
yeah.
think that what happened here was a very useful event for our government to show just how powerful they are. I think that's what this turned into. And so Infowars kind of hopped on the 4chan like suspect wrangling. It turned out to not be the suspects, of course, because then the guy who got his leg blew off like pinned the guys who actually did it because they found the surveillance footage that showed them dropping off the bag, blah, blah, blah.
Of course, Rupert Murdoch made quite a little goof because he put that on the cover of the Post, which was amazing.
Yeah, and then the idea was that what they found with these surveillance photos is that they were actually a part of a privatized military group
Yeah.
called the Kraft. And now the Kraft,
Not to be confused with the 1996 movie starring Fairuza Balk.
that I mercifully jerked off to.
Oh, so much. So these guys can't turn their hair different colors by just waving their hands over
They
it?
really can't.
Oh, these guys are worthless and weak.
Absolutely,
They
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
They couldn't plan a bomb.
Light is a feather, stiff as a board. Life is a feather, stiff as a
Oh,
board.
I love that. You just go rock hard.
Oh yeah, that's
Without-
what I did. I already was though.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't need that.
We used to play that. That reminds me of a memory in 8th grade. We played that game, and everyone was getting lifted up and stuff. And then I did it, and then they couldn't lift me up.
Yeah,
so
you
then magic
break
wasn't real.
magic.
Yeah, it was sad.
There's
yeah.
a weight limit on that spell.
yeah.
But basically,
Every time I
find
go
out-
into an elevator, I'm just like, light as a feather, stiff as a board, and just hope it raises up.
they found out that these were a part of a top secret military, sort of like Blackwater, which was
Not
like this.
that top secret.
I mean-
No, because they have a website that we
They have
will
a
read
website,
about. Let's read
they
the
have a uniform, and they have an insignia and a logo.
and their logo is surrounded by their motto: "No matter what your mama tells you, violence does solve problems."
Yes, and I mean, to their point, it does.
Yeah, and this is from thecraft.com/aboutus.html. Thank you for choosing Craft International to meet your training needs.
I want to find them on How About We. How about we go blow up the Boston Marathon?
As a military or law enforcement professional, we understand your time is valuable. We are honored to be able to share with you the lessons learned from our instructors, whom have walked in similar paths as yourself, and some of whom continue to still do so today.
Lonely men.
Through these lessons, experiences, in-depth studies, pain/sweat/tears, and in some cases, blood.
They're murderers.
They have set forth a curriculum rooted in solid fundamentals that have been time-tested and proven under a variety of operational conditions.
MK Ultra, my friend.
Our goal with our courses is to do one thing: make you better by giving you the skills necessary to dominate your opponent and win. It's never about what we have done and where we have been, only how well we can articulate it all to you. We strive to be true teachers and not merely instructors. We are humbled to be a part of your continuing search and refinement of your chosen craft. Thank you for your continued service, dedication, and associated sacrifices made in protecting the great nation at home and abroad. Respectfully, Chris
This is
Kyle,
a very
President,
long-running sentence.
Craft International.
Like, who even edited this website?
I
But I think that
the last sentence of that should be, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Yes, but it's like they are. No one's talking about these. This group of people that were at the marathon. I honestly don't think they have anything to do with the fucking bombing whatsoever. But what they're talking about is that what they said, which was broken on Infowars, about this idea that they were constantly reminding people in the crowd that there was a drill going on. There was some kind of bomb drill,
Right.
which is again. I mean, it's normal
It's
because
a fairly common
they-
thing to do.
It's
because they
extremely
are-
common.
It's a perfect environment to train people because
Right.
you have all these, like, you have your bomb dogs, you have all this stuff that you want to do, and it's the perfect environment.
By the way, if they did have bomb dogs, that's your last day on bomb dog duty.
I think so.
How don't you find 2 bombs? I
Yeah.
think there were 7 bombs.
Yeah, we're cutting all of them. It's
Get
like, what
outta
is this?
here.
It's the Bad News Bears of bomb dogs.
Yeah.
So these fucking this ragtag group of bomb dogs
Yeah,
who
it's
decided to come and pulled something together for the fucking championship game.
One dude
Boys,
just,
we came out of here to win the big game, and you blew it.
you blew it. One dude
That
just
little boy is dead.
because of you, Roscoe. Because of you. What? One dude just brought his fucking wife's chihuahua because she was like, he'll be great at sniffing out bombs. Bring him. He just had to bring the chihuahua.
But they pulled a lot. Infowars kind of covered all this. Basically, the idea they ran the major storyline that it was a false flag operation in order to get our guns taken away from us.
Yes.
In order for Barack Obama to create the NWO, so it can come down there and we won't be able to defend ourselves against, we won't be able to have our rifles against, the many helicopter super stealth drones that the government has.
Yeah.
That we could definitely defend ourselves against. With just having some guns.
Right.
Being a 45-year-old, 350-pound man with a handgun, you think that you'd be able to handle when the tanks come rolling through.
Yeah. No, it's going to be I think you mostly just want the guns around to off yourself, so the
Yes.
government can't take you alive.
Yeah,
but
what they're saying is that it's also the other thing is that it's a distraction, or supposed to be a distraction from certain laws that are
Because
being
then CISPA
passed.
got passed, and
Yeah.
then
it passed the House, but hasn't passed the Senate yet.
But the other thing that they were saying too about what disproves the whole thing is the fact that gun bill didn't get passed. They
Yes.
didn't pass the background check. So it's like,
Which was
what are you
insane.
talking about, Alex Jones? It didn't happen. Your
Yeah.
fucking worst nightmare didn't happen. They're not taking your fucking guns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, you have to keep changing your Wikipedia page because everyone's telling everyone that you're 54.
Right, you have to do it.
You know?
You have to do it. Another situation that they think is a conspiracy is, of course, with the drones and all the extra cameras. There's a large push right now with the Bloomberg administration and shit like that to get more drones up in the sky with cameras. And as soon as this happened, that was an immediate response by a lot of
Look
people.
at it. Because again, it's
We
like,
need
look
more
at
cameras.
Who benefits, right? If it's a false flag operation, who benefits? It's like, yes, it's an easily exploitable like event. It is
Yeah.
a thing that's like I looked at it like last night. We watched live as they arrested the guy, and it looks like the end of Ghostbusters. You have first of all just the idea of I feel like they're getting us used to the image of tanks rolling through American cities. Like you look at all
it's
this
very
footage of just tanks rolling through Boston, like officers like climbing fences like up in your people's backyards with sniper rifles, doing all this stuff, and then and then in the end, like once it's all done, they have all of this like it looks pre-edited like shots of the tanks rolling through the city with the people of Boston like applauding and like loving it and partying, and it's just like all these drunk dudes like drinking beers and go like, "Well, USA," like doing this thing, and it's like it's a propaganda film.
It's a trashier moment than like a Chavez situation when he would roll through the streets of Venezuela, but everyone in Boston is just tanked. I thought the reaction after they caught him was kind of weird.
Yeah,
the whole
was.
thing reeks to high fucking heaven.
Here's another thing that I noticed. I watched. I was switching. I had yesterday off, so I was switching between Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN all day long, just kind of cycling through them, seeing what the different perspectives were, and they would start to run interviews with people who knew these guys, not just from family members, but also people who went to college with them, people who went to high school with them, and the people would kept starting off and saying like, you know what, he was a great guy, like he was he was trained to be a nurse, he was a med student.
Yeah,
like,
but then you hear the same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer's neighbor was just
That's
like,
not
he's
true.
so quiet and nice. Yeah, you know.
I think Dahmer's neighbors were all terrified of him. That's why he's my favorite serial killer, because everyone's like super creepy. Definitely thought he was eating small Thai guys. I just had no proof.
But as soon as they started getting into that, the news channels kept cutting it off. Like they would just be like, but not cutting it off to say anything new or cutting it off because there was breaking news. Just cutting off and going back to the same bullshit as before. I'm not saying there's anything behind it. I'm just saying it was weird. It gave me the news media's whole coverage of it. This whole thing just
the whole thing
also
sucks.
CNN
whole thing just gives me a fucking like icky feeling.
CNN was also very cautious because after that rape case that happened, I think it was in Ohio or whatever, where those two guys got convicted for raping that girl, they had all these correspondents on being like, those boys' lives are ruined. I can't believe it. So I think CNN was like, we can't be the pro-rape, pro-terrorist news network, so if they say anything nice about him, we got to cut it off.
But then again, what's his name? Jahar, his fucking older brother was being pimped by the FBI as well. It's the same thing we were talking about.
Well, they've been on the watch list for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but he was kind of semi-goaded into doing something along these lines. They said that, again, he like jumped off the storyline and then like made this thing happen. But it was like 49 of 150 botched terrorism cases since like 9/11 has happened have all been FBI led. They train the guys. They give the guys dummy C4, give them dummy like bomb jackets and shit, and then they send him out, and then they arrest him, and then it's a big fucking cameras everywhere, because that's what it looked like. The end, like watching it live, like watching them arrest him live, the fucking ceremonial thing of the ambulance, they had kept the ambulance away, and they're like, they're holding off the ambulance, and so they know for sure that there's a conclusion to the event, and they're like, and here comes the ambulance.
Here it is, Geraldo Rivera's there opening up a safe.
It's all fucking choreographed, and then you've got that, and then
you get the feeling there's some FBI guys, like right before the marathon started, like, so you gave them all the fake bombs, right? Yeah, absolutely. Let me just unzip the bag, and he looked at shit.
Oh,
this one's got all the fluffy toys in it. I think we gave him the no.
It's called the Great Boston Switcheroo of 2013.
Oh man, if all the pound puppies are in this pressure cooker.
It's hard for me.
That's an old reference.
I like it though.
It's truly very hard for me to not find a comical edge to it, but it's like I look at this whole thing and it makes me sick to my fucking stomach.
Yeah, me too.
Between what the news agencies were doing, with the response of various comedians on Twitter, everyone's so self-righteous and full of shit. The whole thing became a gigantic media event, and I know that's like what the way things are going right now, and that's what it's supposed to be. But it was like we were joking the other day, but imagine if they had fucking Instagram during 9/11.
Totally agree.
Like if they had Instagram and Twitter during 9/11, and they were like taking pictures and tweeting about fucking 9/11, it would have been disgusting.
We were a Janet Jackson nipple slip away from this being a halftime show. I mean, Madonna might as well have been slowly climbing up some bleachers because
everybody
it was
loved it way too fucking much.
That was the thing. And after they caught him, everyone's like, "We're getting hammered." It's like the tragedy still happened, but they're like, "But we got one more dead," that makes it an even 4, which is awesome. I guess there was 5 because there was another cop who got killed, and we're going on 6. So as soon as the death count got to a proper number and we got a couple of the bad guys, it was absolutely thrilling.
At this point, it's like when you look at the various conspiracies like wrapped into this, I could see why people get really crazy about Aurora and Sandy Hook, and and I really do believe that there is.
Is there somebody with the name Sandy Hook?
I'm sure.
There has to be.
That's a bad name at that time.
Yeah.
But the idea
Well,
is
last year was just bad for people named Sandy in general.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
You gotta change it.
But I can understand why the MK Ultra hangover. I'm starting to really believe in this idea that like what happened with like the in the 50s and the 60s when they decided to start fucking with the human consciousness in order to create military tools. I think that it's stuck. I think it's a thing that they continue to use. I think it's a thing that bled into our fucking pharmaceutical problem we've got in this country. Like the idea of like giving some of these people like drugs who don't need it. And this is just an example of. I don't know what happened. I don't think it was a conspiracy. I don't think it was a false flag incident. I don't think the government made the Boston Marathon bombing happen, but I do think that they used it in a way that was really fucking convenient.
There's one thing the government is good at. It is opportunism.
Yeah.
Like seeing immediately when something happens, like, okay, how can we spin this to our advantage? It seems like they have a list of shit that they want to do, and they're just waiting for certain
to fit the parameters.
To fit like the parameters. Like, okay, now that this has happened,
I will say, man, that is a checklist that I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see the government blow up the Boston Marathon. Check. That's great.
Absolutely.
Destroy
all circuses.
I'm just wondering what's going to have to happen for us to just get Hamburger Tuesday.
I just want Hamburger Tuesday.
That's all I want. Why
like
can't they just do something good for us?
We need to cancel marathons. That's what needs to happen because we have Hurricane Sandy during a marathon.
The thing is, when it shows
during a marathon, if people got exploded at a football game, we had 2 dead football players out there. The NFL would be canceled.
And it also shows that fat people are safe every time.
That's right
because you stay in
blow
your
us up
house
with a pressure cooker. That's like that's our friend.
I make a pot roast in that.
That's exactly right.
Every time I get a pressure cooker in order to make a bomb, I just put food in it.
Mm-hmm. That would have been such a
You just
nicer
can't help
bomb.
yourself.
That's
the
actually
thing.
how Henry eats. He just like puts it in there and then he waits until it explodes and he licks it off the walls.
What they need to have is an FBI agent named like FBI Agent Boyardee who goes in there and tells them it's like, oh, you have the pressure cooker, huh? Make raviolis.
That's nice. I was thinking about putting some nails and thumbtacks in there.
But this is not the only thing that we're talking about today.
No,
Basically,
but I do want to say this though too. Shout out to whoever won the Boston Marathon because he's the ultimate victim.
No one remembers.
No one will ever know the winner
God, no.
of the Boston Marathon, the year of the terrorist attack.
But I was hoping to go into even more conspiracy theory stuff, and as I started researching, I just felt like in the end, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a horrible event that's now being ridden till it's fucking dead.
However, we do have some weird shit to talk about.
This is
outside of the Boston Marathon is only one small tiny piece of what April 15th to April 20th means in American history.
This is a fucking ooky spooky week, and
This
it's been this
really
way
is.
for a long time. There's things that we already know about. There's we remember Columbine,
Hitler's birthday.
Hitler's first birthday party, which I heard no one came to.
that wasn't very
the
nice.
first thing that made him sad.
However, his 50th birthday was declared a national holiday in Germany.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually there's a very funny comedian's joke, and I rarely do jokes here, but he talks about how people say if I had a chance to go back in time, I'd kill Hitler when he was a kid. But you imagine if that was true and his entire childhood, like Jewish people were just trying to kill
Hitler,
which
yeah.
causes the Holocaust.
But basically, we're going to talk about the ooky spooky events all about the third week of April.
And this is an
it's a bad time.
astrological
And
situation.
that's a clue into it. And the idea of what are some of the astrological symbols behind this week? My birthday's May 1st, so I guess I'm in the clear.
He's a Leo.
Yeah.
Leo.
Taurus.
Is that a Taurus?
Yeah. You can tell because I'm stubborn,
size of a car.
and I also enjoy You fucking insult me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, thank you for pulling Family Guy and that other stupid fucking show because that's going to stop a next terrorist attack. That was the.
Oh yeah.
I hate it.
But that's another conspiracy theory. That's totally fake. That's totally fake. I know
they
shit
cut that together,
Yeah.
but that's like I hate it when TV programs are just like we're doing our duty. We're going to cut this program for a week. It's like no, shut the fuck up.
It's weird the conspiracies with cartoons because do you remember the Simpsons conspiracy?
No, with what?
With 9/11. On September 10th, 2001, they showed in syndication the Simpsons episode in which Homer gets his car stuck in between the World Trade Center. And there's these weird little tiny clues to 9/11 within that episode.
So
Zionism.
Matt Groening made 9/11
He
happen?
did. He was a part of the problem.
He was trying to... No, that's what it is. He was trying to warn us.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Go. I'll say that
graining-
for the country. The whole country's first reaction to 9/11.
I'm gonna need a donut. Okay, so let's get into this. 15th to the 20th of April. What
A lot of
series of
creepy shit
coincidences
has happened.
have
Oh, by
here.
the way, speaking of Family Guy, watch Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
Thursdays at midnight.
That's a real quick plug. We had a wonderful time on Thursday night.
Hail Satan!
Hail Satan!
Hail
It
Satan!
really is. We did a lot of esoteric magic on and off set. There's a lot
Yeah.
of weird symbols like we put all over in the sets. I don't know if you could see them. And when I fucking smoking sweet herbal, painted up as a devil, and I saw my fucking future. Hail Satan! Everybody see the show.
Hail Satan! Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell midnights and Thursday on Adult Swim. All right, so what's going on here? April 15th through the 20th.
All right. What we're going to start with is on April 19th.
Okay.
The shot heard round the world. What some could argue is the birth of America.
This is when John Starks was playing the Houston Rockets.
No,
in
no,
Game
no, no,
five.
no,
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 no, no, no, no,
Okay,
no.
no, not-
We
No,
know
no.
nothing about the Knicks.
Okay, good, good.
This is when the war between America and Britain officially starts with the battles of Lexington and Concord.
Okay.
This is when it officially all begins. So it could be argued that this is the birth of America, making America an Aries.
Ooh,
Yeah.
aggressive.
Abort it.
But also very, like emotionally evocative and highly sexual.
Oh, absolutely. So America,
What is Aries? Is that
Aries-
what Aries is? Highly
Yeah.
emotion?
It's,
it really
it's
is
very,
America.
It's very aggressive.
It's
It's
the
very
ram.
intense. It's the ram.
yeah.
The Taurus, like I was saying, is stubborn and a lover of creature comforts.
Like the car. Henry Zabrowski is as big as a Ford Taurus. There's a Ford Taurus, it's a car. And obviously humans aren't supposed to be the size of cars. And they weigh, but,
Pretty Face is Going to Hell Thursdays on Adult Swim at
midnight.
So
Check that out.
Aries is the ruling planet of Aries is Mars.
Okay.
Mars is the
God
god
of
of
war.
war.
Cool.
The dark side of America, as far as Aries goes, selfish and quick-tempered, impulsive and impatient,
Afghanistan.
foolhardy and a bit of a daredevil.
All
Hot
right.
dogs.
Yeah, indeed. Showboats.
And
Real
here's
Bo
another funny
Jacksons.
thing. Hitler is also an Aries, but what an Aries is called, an Aryan.
Ooh. I guess it makes sense.
So let's go through some of the events starting from
I
April
guess
15th.
we didn't like black people during Hurricane Katrina.
Think about that.
Yeah, that
That's
does
harp.
make sense.
That's harp.
So now we're going to go through some of the
That was
horrible...
actually, I was just having a conversation with Wolf Blitzer about Wolf Blitzer with CNN.
What?
No, not with, about him. And during Hurricane Sandy, he had a quote where he says, "So much poor, so much sad, so many black." That was his quote, which is very, very funny when he was looking at the Superdome. Anyway, continue on.
Wolf Blitzer? Was it a werewolf? I don't think a Wolf Blitzer belongs on Last Podcast to the Left.
Yeah.
Save it for Top Hat.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. All right.
So April 15th.
Ford Taurus, which is, of course, a car. All right. It's kind of funny, though.
So April
Puffin' it with Biff and Stew on my damn channel.
April 15th, 1846. The Donner Party sets off from Springfield, Illinois for California.
And the first thing, little Jamie Donner was just like, Dad, I'm hungry. And he's just like, just wait. Just wait.
There'll be food on the other side.
1865. Abraham Lincoln dies.
Boom. What day is that?
April 15th, 1865.
Wow, all
He was
right.
shot on the 14th and he died on the 15th.
He
1912.
was the John Lennon of the 1800s.
He really was.
What? Can we go back to the Donner family really quick? Why are they? They just ate a bunch of people, right?
Yeah,
No,
they
they
ate
ate
themselves.
each other. Yeah.
They ate each other.
Yeah,
And for-
in the
what was
Colorado
reason?
in the Colorado mountains, they
Because
got
they got
lost.
stuck.
Yeah, they got
Okay.
snowbound, and so they ate each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
19,
And there was just big Herbert Dahmers just sitting in the back, and
Yeah.
he's just like eating fucking sweets and sucking on ham hocks, and he's just like, Bobby, I just hope that nothing bad happens on the trip. Well, me too, son. Me too.
Keep on eating.
Just rub yourself with this butter.
and by the way, I looked through all the like great days or important dates in history from April 15th to April 20th. All of this stuff is American.
Okay.
Like all of this stuff happened to Americans. The rest of the world does pretty good in these times.
Well,
and
we started
April
off on a bad
14th
foot in the first place.
Yeah.
We fucking killed the Earth's first hippies. We killed all of them, and then just took the place. It started bad. America's got a problem. It's human beings just have a problem, as we were saying before. It's like the problem isn't guns and bombs. It's us.
It's us. It's all
You know?
us.
And the cats and the dogs and the giraffes and the lions are going to be much happier when we're gone.
April. See, that's the thing. You check it out. April 14th, nothing happens.
Okay.
April 21st, back to normal. April 20. I checked up until like the 23rd.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But April 15th to April 20th, that's when shit goes bad. April 15th, 1912, fucking Titanic goes down.
Oh.
I mean,
100
that just made a great movie.
1,502 people dead, 119 Americans dead. 1927.
119 people died, huh? Isn't that sad?
1927, the Great Mississippi Flood, the most destructive river flood in U.S. history. 246 people in 7 states died. 1935,
Seven states had that flood?
Yeah, 7
Wow.
states. 1935, the Black Sunday storm, the worst dust storm in the entire Dust Bowl. I've read extensively on the Dust Bowl, and especially this one. And this one is weird because for the longest time, the Dust Bowl was, I mean, it would just be constant dust storms all the time. People was getting the dust pneumonia. They were drowning in their own sand, essentially.
Yeah.
And on Black Sunday, shit had finally calmed down. People were thinking like, oh shit, maybe it's over. Let's go out. Let's go enjoy outside.
That's a psych.
Every time.
And then I read one eyewitness account of these people. They were going out to have a picnic, and they just saw off in the distance just this black wall coming towards them. And it had a top. You could see the top of it. But this entire black wall just coming towards them. And let's see here. It displaced 300 million tons of topsoil.
Wow.
In the prairie area.
you're in
Woody
the-
Guthrie wrote a song about it. On the
What's- is it
14th day of April in 1935, there struck the worst of dust storms that ever filled the sky. You could
love
see that
Woody.
dust storm coming. The cloud looked dead
Did
like
he
black.
even
And
once
on-
write about pussy?
No. He never saw one. Never saw one. That's the thing. He's just an encyclopedia of information. Great stories.
I mean, not many, I don't think anyone died during that storm, but still, it was just a horrible day.
If you're in the
Yeah.
paint stripping business, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no
no,
work
no.
for a little while.
No, if you're in the dust gathering business,
Oh, that's great.
just
It's
get
good
a basket. Oh, it's free merchandise day. If you're dust, you get a bunch of bags of dust. Thank you, Claymore. If you could please go back to your hut. This is a dangerous dust storm.
1955, McDonald's opens its first restaurant.
That is
That's not so bad.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You get what I'm making I'm making a point here. It's a statement. It's like
I like it.
It's like a political statement. Like it's destroying America.
Yeah. With the obesity.
yeah.
Oh my God, Ford Taurus. Do you think that there's somebody with this dust bowl? So like some town just like had some dust, and then they woke up, and then there was no more dust. Did they have to where'd our dust go?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
They're like,
Yeah,
they went to Texas.
It's called National Maid's Day Off.
I mean, it would take me quite a while to explain the geographical and ecological reasons behind the Dust Bowl. It's my
Let's not- you know what? Let's just- we got into
let's
it.
just yeah,
That's
we got.
fine.
Let's just say we got it. My ancestors went through it, so I read a lot about it. It's very interesting if you're interested in that.
You know
sort
what?
of thing.
I love that
I
McDonald's
love
joke.
dust subjects. You know? That's why
we have a new podcast all about dust and
Dust,
dust
yeah.
related issues.
Yeah.
It is called Abe Vigoda's fucking library.
Yeah, Abe Vigoda's library.
And then 2013 is the Boston Marathon bombing.
Okay.
Let's move on to April 16th. 1947, the Texas City disaster, which is not well known. It is the worst industrial disaster in United States history. 581 people died
Holy Lord.
when a tanker pulled into Texas City, which is a port in the Gulf of Texas. It pulled in with on board, it had small arms ammunition, machinery, bales of twine, ammonium nitrate.
Bales of twine. Oh, this business is going to be huge.
The bales of twine does play into it quite a bit. And ammonium nitrate, which is, of course, used in blasting caps and fertilizer.
And then several boxes of just dry brush.
Yeah.
And then the lighter shipment was on there. And
Just throw anything that can catch on fire on the same shipment. We're theming it here.
So these there were men that were loading these big bags of ammonium nitrate onto the ship, and they said that the bags were warm to the touch prior to loading. Around 8 a.m.
Hey, Leary,
smoke.
do you ever think that like our job is dangerous?
I tell you, I just know that as soon as I'm done with today's work, I'm going to get Sarah Beth to marry me.
I think she's gonna love you
I
forever
think
and
so.
ever.
I think we're going to spend the.
God damn it!
Yep. Around 8 a.m., smoke was reported coming out of the cargo hold. Over the next hour, attempts to put out the fire or put it under control failed.
Spit on it.
Red glow
More
returned
chewing
after
tobacco.
each.
Pour some shoe polish on it.
Oh no, that's flammable now. Oh no.
Yep. After 9 a.m., the captain ordered his men to steam the hold. Meanwhile, the fire had attracted a crowd of spectators along the shoreline.
Only in
dang.
Texas, the first Kardashians.
They believed that they were a safe distance away. Spectators noted that the water around the dock ship was boiling from the heat, and the splashing water touched the hull of the ship, was vaporized into steam. 9:12 a.m., the ammonium nitrate reached an explosive threshold, and the actual explosion was the size of a small nuclear bomb. It was the largest explosion on American soil. Nearly 1,000 buildings on land were leveled.
Whoa.
It destroyed the Monsanto Chemical Company plant.
Apparently, that was the thing, is they contained it, but when Al Roker shit his pants in the White House, it was almost that level as well.
It ignited refineries and chemical tanks all along the waterfront. The bales of burning twine added to the damage because it was flown out into the city, and that actually set more buildings on fire.
Never thought
10
twine
miles
would
away,
be so
peop-
dangerous. You'd think that's the safest thing on the boat.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
would think so. It probably was at some point.
10 miles away, people in Galveston were forced to their knees. Windows were shattered in Houston, 40 miles away, and people felt the shock 100 miles away in Louisiana.
That also reminds
500
me, and then this week we also had the explosion in West Texas
Exactly.
of that fertilizer plant, which is, again, we're also finding a massive weird set of coincidences using with poo-poo explosions.
Yeah, a lot of poo-poo.
which is very big. It's a poo-poo problem in this
Yep,
country.
I know it.
And there's some footage that I saw that is totally real. That's fucking just evidence that a missile was
about it.
fired into it that made it explode.
And that happened on April 17th.
Yes.
And on April 16th, 1990, Jack Kevorkian participates in his first assisted suicide.
Oh, but that's normal.
fine.
That's fine.
That was his job.
He's
But
a
then
hero.
in 2007, the Virginia Tech massacre, the largest shooting spree in American history, 32 people dead.
Highest
seems
game
like more-
score. You know,
Yeah.
he's got the thing at the very top of the fucking arcade game.
It
Seems
really
like mostly
is.
a Texas problem.
Yeah, it's a big Texas problem.
Yeah.
April 17th, of course, the fertilizer plant in West Texas. Also, the Bay of Pigs invasion begins. And the Bay of Pigs invasion begins and ends within this 5-day period.
Okay.
Which also very interesting. That's very interesting. My grandfather knew a lot of information about that because he was head of travel for Pepsi during the time, and PepsiCo was one of the main funders of the Bay of Pigs invasion.
Okay.
Because it was done outside of the government's influence.
Exactly. It was Cuban exiles. A whole big embarrassment for the country.
Right. I'm sorry, but I just have to say, like, I just pictured the Zabrowski family on a beach. You know, it's just like, what do you call
Your
that?
pretty face is going to hell.
Yeah, that's what you
That's
call
a
a
Thursday
park.
swim. It's a
Zabrowski's
pond, yeah.
on the beach. It's a big.
The real-
It's what we call a parking lot.
Yeah, that's the real Bay of Pigs, you know?
This is great.
You know, fun.
yeah.
This
Meme
is
it.
great.
You know?
See, I still think of just a restaurant when I think of Bay of Pigs. I'm just like, oh, give me that bacon, give me that sausage.
Sausage.
April
I'm
18th.
sucking a pig's dick
Whoa,
to
whoa.
get that bacon taste.
Whoa, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just show me a pig. I know how to make a pig smile.
Then April 18th, 1880. This is a smaller one. An F4 tornado struck Marshfield, Missouri, killed 99 people, injured 100. And in 1983, that was when the suicide bomber destroyed the U.S. Embassy in Beirut,
Okay.
in Lebanon, killing 63 people, which is a pretty big event in America's involvement with the Middle East, which builds on to our later wars. Big shit. April 19th is another huge day.
Yeah, because that was Osama bin Laden's his first credit.
Yeah,
that
what we
was his
ca-
Letterman
his
appearance.
debut.
That was his
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
That was his. Your pretty face is
Your
going
pretty
to
face
hell.
going to
Yeah,
hell.
April
Don't
9th.
swim Thursdays at midnight.
April
Osama
9th.
bin Laden.
April 19th, both Waco and Oklahoma City, 2 years apart. And also the day that Charles Manson was sentenced to death.
Wow.
Yeah, but then he shaked it.
Yeah, he totally shook that off, which is a victory for
is
America.
Manson still on death row?
Yeah, he's just sitting in his square. He's just sitting in a box.
But is he technically on death row?
no,
No.
He
Okay.
still gets they cart him out for parole hearings every like 7 to 10 years.
Man, that's
He just did another one. They were like, no, and he shows up going like, I'm a tarantula, and they're like, okay, we know you're a fucking tarantula. It's like, and the newspaper's telling me I got a poo poo in a bucket.
You do
They're
have
like,
to poo-poo
okay,
in the
yeah,
bucket.
poo poo in the bucket. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna let him go this time. Yeah,
Here's an interesting thing about it is because the days between April 15th and April 20th, the 16th through the 19th, those are the bad shit happens, but they're not quite as concentrated as the first and last days. April 20th, because I fucking knew when I was researching this. I combed through birthdays, I combed through everything, trying to find some sort of serial killer connection.
Yeah.
And I fucking found it.
Yeah.
April 20th, 1836, U.S. Congress passes an act creating the Wisconsin Territory.
Oh, so they
thank
made it.
you.
Yeah, it's like the exactly. It's the dirt breaking ceremony
Is
for
that the-
all serial killers.
Is that the worst thing that happened through these 5 days
Yeah.
throughout history?
Oh,
It was
God,
actually
no.
they had originally wanted to
Probably.
call it Cholesterol Junction.
Yes.
But then they knew, like, oh, no, let's not immediately doom them. And then all the dudes that were trucking in there, they were just like, which one's a cow? Which one's the mother?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Well, you can have your way with either.
1914 is the Ludlow Massacre during a Colorado coal miner strike in which the police opened a machine gun fire upon a crowd, killing 19 men, women, and children. Damn. Just mowed them down.
Wow.
And it was, I believe it was, that was ordered by Rockefeller. 1999, you got Columbine.
Illuminati, reptilian family bloodline.
yes.
Again, that's where it comes back. Black nobility.
Alien butt probes, everybody.
Black nobility. That's the name of the royal families in Britain that became part of the reptilian elite.
There you go. 1999.
No one believes me.
There you go. That's my stock
It is-
response to
this
everything.
is what people do. This is what
Right.
it comes down to. Yes, I sound crazy.
Sure.
But sometimes the truth is more strange than fiction, right? And then
Yes.
also, it's so easy to ridicule that which you are afraid of.
Yes.
And so I understand, yes, ridicule me, laugh at me.
Okay.
But I will prevail when I see the reptilian ships coming down with Kronos and Blogdor.
Blogdor is going to be there.
Revealing Barack Obama as his skin separates and you see he's a giant Gila monster and he rapes Hillary Clinton.
What? Is she a reptile too?
No. A hapless woman. A deeply vulnerable woman, as they all are.
All right, 1999 Columbine happens.
Boom!
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, it
2000,
smells like Teen Spirit, a fucking school shooter.
Oh, yeah.
2010, the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig explodes. The BP oil spill.
right. Okay.
Yeah, killing 11 people. The oil spill lasted 6 months and made
remember that.
extinct the Louisiana pancake batfish.
Oh, Batfish is gone?
No longer exists.
Which is the problem is that it already affected the ecology there because it ruined their brunches.
Yeah, that's
all of
the
their
major
undersea
problem.
brunches. They're like, how will we do it without the pancake?
Why do we even have the syrup fish around? There's no pancake fish.
And he's just like, I'm so full of syrup because nobody gonna milk me.
I mean, he's got to get milked.
Let me get down there.
Yeah, you love it. Sucking on all the syrup fish. They're losing all the weight.
And then, of course, the big thing on April 20th, Hitler's birthday, April 20th, 1889.
Oh, Hitler, we are so happy that it is your birthday. It's just like, I want a hot dog!
Immediately wanted
Whatever he wants, whatever he likes, it is his birthday. We've made a new prison for you, Hitler. It's not small enough. He wants the smaller prisons and eradicate it. It's a hard day.
Both Hitler and George W. Bush like painting.
And also, according to 4chan right now, on a search through this morning, there is a worldwide, there's a citywide drill going on in San Francisco right now that's going on throughout the day, and they are pretty certain because it also lays upon one of the major faults on the Earth that could be construed as a ley line, which we talked about before, the energy grid, that most important points that are like temples, the pyramids,
Right.
and various churches are all built on these certain cruxes in the energy
The
grid. that
Bottom
sounds
Door,
Earth-
which is a great gay bar in
Yes.
San Francisco.
Yes. And so right now we're just kind of waiting to see if something's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And I think let's
Nothing
begin
is
to wait.
happening.
Let's begin to
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, I've checked. Nothing yet.
Is something happening?
It's something. Just do a quick Google.
Is
Yo,
something
no,
happened?
I did.
Let's see here. Maybe
Let's
San
keep waiting.
Francisco is going in.
I want to break
the-
this news on the podcast.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see.
Refresh.
And maybe,
Has
Or
something happened?
are there people walking around without shirts on? That's a sign that something might go down very soon.
If you mean like a limbo contest.
Yeah.
God, that's so fun.
I can't limbo for shit.
San Fran sounds great.
San Fran's a wonderful place.
Fox News, they're better at it.
Is there something going on the Haight Ashbury?
A lot of Starbucks. Probably one just got built there again.
Picture of Lindsey Graham.
Oh, Lindsey Graham. Think about that. Got a guy
she had
and a
flowers
girl's
in
name.
her hair.
All right. Well, it seems like nothing.
Wait. No.
Nothing
okay,
happened.
okay,
God
nothing's happened.
damn it. Nothing happening
Man,
just
4chan.
yet.
But then the other thing, and then we also had someone actually, and I'm pretty certain that story, the first time I saw it was on our last podcast Facebook page.
Yeah.
Was when someone posted that a man on 4chan had threatened to shoot up a bunch of people
Yeah.
at a mall, and then he did it.
He did it. Yeah.
4chan is. There's something to it. There's definitely like the unconscious of the internet. People are throwing information all on 4chan. I watch it now all the time to kind of see. It's like InfoWars apparently uses it as
They
its main
definitely do.
fucking information source. So
I like
all right. It's great. It's fun.
yeah.
I mean, even though they're kind of. Did you guys see the weirdo in the robe?
No.
There was one guy that they just 4chan kept just pointing at. He's just this fucking weird, about the size of Kissel,
Oh, okay.
wearing a brown robe and
Nice.
carrying a backpack
Was
on
it
his
Kissel?
arms.
That
No,
sounds
no,
like
no, no,
oh
no.
yeah, that guy, the
Yeah.
really strange dude.
Yeah.
He just looked like he was just
Out of it.
out of it. Out of it. He was just drunk watching the marathon.
That's amazing.
Had a beard.
Ah. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this episode. A lot of conspiracy theory talk.
If something happens today, then I mean, we won't talk about it till next week. But be vigilant.
That's
if
right.
you're in the San Francisco area, just look out for anything like super suspicious, like a man dressed as a woman with a big rainbow wig on,
That's
rolling
a
down the
terrorist.
street and with fucking roller skates on, giving you like free condoms. That's a big thing. That's
Call-
a red flag.
Calling himself Molly. He's
I'm
selling
not-
drugs.
Yes, absolutely. There's another thing. Yes, in San Francisco, if you see a man dressed up as a clown selling ice cream out of a fucking store,
Not
you got
ice
a bunch
cream.
of 90-year-olds all sitting to go buy an ice cream, and they're eating ice cream. They're acting like it's flying. They're
Sure.
all like laughing and like smoking weed because it's 420 in San Francisco, and everyone's having a good time. It's a red flag.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag. I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Marcus Henry Zabrowski. I am Ben.
Be vigilant.
Be
Protect
vigilant.
America.
Be aware.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Geen.
I think Satan's the only one who can help us at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Because God ain't doing bullshit.
Yeah, I'm wearing,
know,
my,
I think
I'm wearing a
Holmes.
Satan shirt right now.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing my Satan body.
I mean, you.
My body made for, by, and for Satan. For Satan, by Satan.
All right. Hail yourselves and check out.
Your pretty face is going to hell.
It's
on Adult
Thursday.
Swim.
Yeah.
Thursdays at midnight and Huffing It with Biff and Stu.
Yeah.
My name channel. Yeah.
I was on the last episode.
Tolish Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my parents won't talk to me.
That's very nice. All right,
well,
everybody.
it's good to stop such a close relationship.
Oh yeah, you don't want to have it with your parents.
I was sick of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I just don't. I just.
Cut him out, buddy. That's what I do. I don't talk to a single fucking person.
I
When
miss-
I'm not here,
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting in silence.
I think that's true.
Oh yeah. Hail me.
All right.
Okay.
Magustalations.
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 everybody. We will talk to you soon.